I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at villageXchange@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the Village, Facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener. I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
And this is Anthrax. The name of this song is
Blood Eagle Wings, but it's not just Anthrax. There's actually somebody even more important than that.
More important
To us. This
Dear
is
listener.
Overshadow Sean here holding this wonderful baby.
of the commercial. You guys know the commercial. He goes, ah!
Yep.
That's Sean. That's his favorite part of the commercial.
Yep.
You can call him Sean, or you can call him Rubbish Man. If you see him around the village, call him Rubbish Man. He loves it. That's his favorite term. As a matter of fact, Sean texted me yesterday and said he's actually going to have his name changed officially to Rubbish Man. Dear listener, if you would like to be featured on the channel and you would like a DJ stream, we are doing multiple songs. At least 4 will get you a DJ stream. So send us an email, villageXchange@gmail.com, if you want to set up a DJ stream. We do have a couple of them set up already. So if you talk to Soraya, she'll hook you up with.
Yep, I have a whole calendar that we add you on. And don't worry, if you're like 4 songs is just far too much, I can't sit with you guys that long. We have other options, which is you can choose just 1 song. But
or what you could do is what I like is joining the alliance.
I was gonna get there. I was gonna say
sorry,
all
go
those
ahead.
options were on Patreon, but there's another alliance that just so happens to be. There's another option that just so happens to be Vin's favorite. Go ahead, tell them all about it.
It's the community option, and we were just talking about this. In Discord, there's a Discord, little community, all that jazz, and there's a whole bunch of things. There's community, all that jazz. Okay, there you go. All right, so this song, but tonight is not about anything other than my buddy Sean, Overshadow Sean, and the first song is from a band called Anthrax. We are playing the official video because Sean is my man and I love him. If you're on regular YouTube world and you don't see the official video, it's because the filthy capitalist at the record label blocked us. Having said that, here we go. Blood Wings for All Kings, Anthrax, let's go.
Hell is empty, 'cause all my demons are here. Ever so deadly.
Yeah, I know. I never heard of that.
Right?
Darkness in my soul is taking hold and becoming. Break me from this hold as I unfold, flooding your wings. Darkness in my soul is taking hold and becoming. Break me from this hold as I unfold, flooding your wings. My whole world built on bodies dead and gone. You ignore the signs. That was my design. In the loneliness, it's so hard in this great place that exists.
Jesus.
God.
Ew, my gosh.
Jesus.
Hell is empty, 'cause all my demons are here. Ever so deadly. It's so hard.
Oh my god.
Darkness in my soul is taking hold and becoming. Break me from this hold as I unfold, flooding your wings. Darkness in
Oh my god.
soul is taking hold and becoming. Break me from this hold as I unfold, flooding your wings.
Yep, here it comes. You're gonna pay now.
Yep. Somebody kill
I
this motherfucker, please.
literally. Goosebumps.
I ask you why fight everything? Why can't you accept it? You can never stop it.
Yep, here comes Vin.
We can't live a lie. I'd rather see it die. I'd rather see it die. I'll show you why fight everything? Now when you expect it, you'll disappear epic. Memories are alive. I don't have to try. Fold your wings and fly. I'd rather see it die. I'd rather see it die.
No, fight back.
By the way, this song is heavy as fuck.
No, I thought he was supposed to fight back.
I'll show you why fight everything? Now when you expect it, you'll disappear epic. Memories are alive. I don't have to try. Fold your wings and fly. I'd rather see it die. I'd rather see it die.
That's weird.
It's a modern city.
Yeah.
Hey, hurry up, hurry up.
Wait. What's happening?
They're just looking at him.
Wait.
That was brutal.
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
Wow. Refresh it. So that was awesome according to Daniel Massey. Okay.
You know what's crazy is you remember we saw that brutality on the Viking show.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's the crazy thing. But people are still talking, so we're in good shape.
So we saw that on the Viking show.
Yeah, the
Literally,
Blood Eagle thing.
That disturbed me. It's one of those things that I wish that I never saw. So, Sean, it wasn't you. I had already seen that previously. But like 4 days ago, I was going to tell you, baby, you know what's something that I can't get out of my head that I wish I never saw? And it was that.
Yeah.
But I never said it. And so then it was so weird when all of a sudden, like, it was happening again before our very eyes.
Yeah, like that to me, that's interesting is people here, it looks like...
How long can someone survive like that? How can someone survive like that?
I mean...
Why would you bleed to death?
Yeah, I'm assuming you'd bleed out pretty quickly. You know what I'm saying?
On the Viking show, he was going for...
Yeah, I mean, they dragged it. They dragged it out.
Exaggerated?
Yeah, they dragged it out, but it I don't know. It appears to me that I don't think a person would last as long as the way that they're, saying it. It's weird. See, we're in good shape. We're okay. We're okay. What a fucking video. This is one of those things where the video kind of like takes over the song. Like you can't, it's like hard to talk about the song away from the video, but.
Well, yeah, because the video was saying something.
Yeah. As Chris asks, what happened at the end?
Listen, this is not Sean's fault. He advised us not to play it. And
People saying about Sean?
Well, no, a couple people were
Oh,
like,
no, Sean, don't apologize. Don't apologize. And honestly, the review is a lot different now that we've seen the video than not. At the end of the video, basically, the King character stands up out of his chair and he goes to a window and he sees basically like a modern city, which is really interesting because I had put them back into the time of the Vikings. Then it switches over to the guy that they killed and all the people that were wearing the masks you would assume would be like medieval type people, but when they took off the masks they were kind of modern. And the guy goes, ugh, that was...
One of them was like horrified and the other one was like, well, that was a bit gory.
Yeah, the other,
It didn't even seem like it was that serious to him.
It didn't really affect him, it looked like.
One was, horrified, but he still took part in it, and then...
Yeah. Okay, so it's one of those videos. So we have a song and a video we've been talking about, all that jazz, and we're gonna release it. But I have a very gory, nasty version of the video in my head, and that gory version of the video of our video was actually inspired by. What's the name of that band? There was a Russian band, the Russian Slipknot band with the Baba Yaga, whatever, with the bear, the Russian one with the bear.
I know.
Okay,
I know,
so after I saw that video, I was like, man, maybe we should go in a completely different direction because people would not expect for us to shoot a gory video. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, holy shit, Vin and Sori did. Yeah. So, and there's a lot of gore that we could put into that song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe we'll do two versions of it because I don't want my dad. Me and my dad are just trying to fix our relationship. So, I don't know. Okay. Lyrically, darkness in my soul is taking hold and becoming. Break me from this hold as I unfold blood eagle wings. Darkness in my soul is taking hold and becoming. Break me from this hold as I unfold.
I thought the guy that ended up getting like the blood eagle thing done to him, I thought that all of a sudden vengeance was gonna come from him.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, here comes Vin. Then he.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think it's good to watch gory shit all the time. You know, especially when you talk about gore porn. However, if you look at the song lyrically of what he's trying to communicate. So, for example, verse 1. Everything's been said. Walk among the dead. You can see my crimes. Can you go back?
Oh.
You can see my crimes. This is my design. There's no right or wrong. It's the same old song. It just keeps pounding me. It hits so hard. Hell is empty because all my demons are here. Ever so deadly, hit so hard. Darkness in my soul is taking hold, becoming break me, blah, 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 blah. And he says, break me from this hold as I unfold blood eagle wings. So I definitely see a connection between, you know, the opening salvo and the video. Everything's being said, walk among the dead. You can see my crimes. This is my design. There's no right or wrong. So there's no right or wrong. So basically, if there's no right or wrong, then whoever's strongest is going to determine what the law is, right? But if you scroll up, you can see it here. He's talking about, like, he says, hell is empty because all my demons are here. So that's a very, very interesting line.
I'm having a hard time to separate the video from the lyrics.
I don't want to separate the video from the lyrics.
Oh, okay.
So when he says all my demons are here, you know, usually when you think about, well, yeah, human being, well, we were talking about it today at Chipotle, is that it's like, whoops, we killed 11 people, 7 of them are children, whoops, and then we all just go along with our day like nothing happened. Like, what do you think the body of a child looks like after it's been drone bombed? Do you think it looks similar to the way that this guy's body looked when he got blood eagled? It's the same thing. But it's the comment. That's why I forced myself to look at the video. I wanted to look away from the video, but there's something was like, no, you need to see this. So I watched it, and to this moment, I'm not particularly certain because I don't have a problem with saying I'm disturbed. I'm gonna look away. I don't care. I don't care about looking like a sissy or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I got nothing to prove to anybody. But there was something where it's like, no, you have to watch this, and most of the time I'm against gore. Like, this is actually like kind of weird, but this was like a big fight that me and my ex used to have because she was all, you know how she was. She's all that gory shit, and I'm like, that's not good. It's not good to feed your mind and all. And she liked it though. Mm-hmm. Like, it was like, I don't know. It was like a guy who found a porn or something like that. Like, she was really like, you know, drawn to that shit. So I always went the opposite way. I cannot stand seeing gore and all the rest of it. But I think we need to reimagine all these different genres considering where we are. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I think, and then you have to think through the place of gore in rhetoric. In other words, you see these, you know, when I was in school, you saw these horrific pictures of the Holocaust. Mm-hmm. And the point of those pictures is because the number 6 million is so massive that we cannot fathom the loss that all of us experienced because of the Holocaust. Like, we lost those people. Like, we're not Jews, whatever, but you see my point. Like, we lost 6 million people in a very, very short period of time. But the number is so massive that we don't have the capacity to get our emotions around it. So they take those pictures of, you know, 0.000000001% of the victims and say, mourn that person. Because when you mourn that one person, you mourn them all. Yeah. But the problem is with us right now, it's not something unique to America. It's everybody who's part of a global empire. Our country uses our tax dollars to go out and blood eagle thousands of people a year, and we don't care.
Yeah, I
so,
do think it was commentary on that. When he pulled back and you could see it was a modern city.
Yeah, it's this massive city, and it's like we have not evolved in that respect yet. Like, well, let me say it another way.
And okay,
Go ahead. Yeah.
One thing that I noticed about the video, the guy in the mask was like crushing all those cities.
Yes.
And what I got from that was, then he goes out and he looks at his giant empire that is where he is. Why would you it's like the pine nut farmer.
Yeah.
Like why that guy? Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't you have enough where you don't have to do that to,
Mm-hmm. No, I'm with it. My mother-in-law makes me watch The View with her from time to time. That is real gore, he says.
Honey.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, never mind.
So he says, I've been desensitized to gore and I'm not proud of it. Well, Nick, I mean, but my point is, to your point, you have the self-awareness to know that you're being desensitized, and you have the deeper sense of self-awareness to know that that's not good. Mm-hmm. But see, that's something that was done to you by your culture. Now, I know you're going to say, yeah, but I selected the videos to watch, which ended up desensitizing me. I get it. But when your culture presents these things as just mere entertainment,
yep,
and says, hey, do you want something out of the norm? You get drawn to it, sure. But then it exposes you to so much corruption that your mind, and by the time you recognize, it's too late.
Yeah, it's already, yeah.
And so I don't know, maybe that's the reason, but like I really forced myself. And it's crazy because I told you, I said, look away. But for me, like, I had to force myself to watch the video, and I don't know why, because I don't know why, but I had to. So yeah, I mean, it was brutal, but it really made me think about death and hell from a Christian worldview, because when you think about it from that regard, I mean, I'll tell you guys, like, and I would have said this years ago, like, you're not supposed to do theology with your emotions. Is what they say, and I had to see it, but I saw the Kasaspa video. Kasaspa is a Jordanian fighter pilot that got shot down, and then the ISIS people set him on fire in a cage until he died, and I just remember thinking to myself, all those guys had rifles, in the video. And I'm like, man, somebody couldn't have shot that dude to put him out of his misery. Mm-hmm. And I just remember, and they just sat there. None of them had emotion, it looked like. And they just watched this guy. And it was horrible. And I just remember saying to myself, like, I want to kill everybody in that fucking video, bro. But then it was like, wow. Like, this is where we are. Like, I saw, but then the another line hit me that says, well, what are you upset about? You believe God's going to do this to people forever. Mm-hmm. And then I said to myself, no, I don't. And it was one of those moments, because my entire life I've been, it was, you're going to go to hell and burn in hell forever in eternal fire and blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, I saw that and I said, look, whatever the Bible actually says, God does not do that to people. I don't give a fuck. And it's the same thing with this, like, medieval, if you really like gore, one of the most goriest, nastiest books of all time. I've never finished it. I've never gotten through 3 pages of it, and I never will. It's actually a Christian book. This book is the most horrific book, in my opinion, of all time. Bram Stoker has nothing on this book. It's called Fox's Book of Martyrs. Oh. And a lot of it focuses on, the persecution of the Christian church throughout the years, but specifically it focuses on what happened to Protestants post the Protestant Reformation, particularly in England, and the pain and the suffering they endured and the tortures that the Catholic Church invented to extract confessions of faith from these people was unbelievable. But here's the thing. Their justification of it was, look, you're going to go to hell and get set on fire forever. So any little temporal punishment here that we do to you, if you confess and cleanse your soul, it'll be worth it versus spending an eternity in hell. So your doctrine of hell has massive ramifications of how people get treated.
Yep.
And we've blessed God, we've moved away, to a degree. Our secular friends have helped us move away from that. Now, of course, our secular friends, there's whole swaths of people that they don't have a problem with disassembling and destroying. But let's keep the focus on the Christian church for a second. If you tell people, hey man, and look, there is, in the Christian church, in the afterlife, what happens to bad people, like from the beginning, has always been a debate.
Yeah.
And the idea is eternal conscious torment. That's
whether it's burning forever or it's something miserable that goes for a very long time.
Correct. Because you have to account for, there are people that once they leave this stage of the journey, they're going to transition to another dimension or another experience or another area of consciousness, and they're not going to have a good time. Like, that's what we believe. I agree. What a lot of people don't realize when the Bible talks about fire is that a lot of times it's the good guys who are in the fire, not the bad guys. So when God first makes himself known to Moses, he shows up as fire, as a burning bush. The presence of God, as a matter of fact, the vast majority of the time that the presence of God is mentioned in the Bible, it's with fire. And so being in the presence of God is like being in the midst of fire. Now, if you're in right relationship with God, you experience that fire as exhilaration and joy and all the good stuff. But if you're a hater of God, you're going to experience the fire as fire, metaphorically speaking. But when if you look at Jonathan Edwards' Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God, which Jonathan Edwards right now is getting worked as he should. But if you look at what he says, he's like, the God you abhor will abuse you and blah, blah, blah. And he's just talking about how God's just going to fuck you up for all eternity. It's like, and I remember reading, I was like, that's right, praise God. Then I was like, well, wait a second. Like, why would God, like, wouldn't he like want to hang out with us? Like, why would he want to busy himself beating the hell out of bad people for all eternity? I'm like, what kind of... And I want to be very careful. Like, I don't want to... I am not going to sit in judgment of the Most High. So if he did that, it's not for me to judge him. The problem is that God does not present himself as a person who does that. Even when hell is talked about, Jesus never says, God's going to fuck you up for all eternity. But that's the image that all of us have been given, and Dante's Inferno and all the rest of it. But that's what and then you think to yourself, yeah, but God creates hell for people who do that to people. It's like, I don't think that's how it works. So anyway, I'm just being straight up, like, about how you believe in this shit all your life.
Yep.
And you say stuff and then you're like, well, you're not in hell, so don't worry about it. But Or we're a Christian family, so don't worry about it. But it's
I never heard anybody say that. You're in a good
well,
spot,
you never
don't worry
questioned it. I'd say, hey, Mom, how could God do that for people?
No, I people would ask me that. So you're saying
Right,
that
but
you're
the
good
question
God?
came with me. The question came from me.
Well, it became my question too.
I was reading. I was like, holy shit. But yeah. And it's true. Jesus absolutely can be a savage if need be, for sure. I agree. I 100% agree that Jesus can be a gangster. But there's a difference between saying, look, if we don't stop oppressing people and fucking up the world, Jesus is going to come and fuck up this country. That's a lot. I believe that. I think we're overdue, honestly. I think that I think a good case could be made that how is God a loving God if he allows America to continue to do this without... You know what I'm saying? Those would be the questions that you would ask if you were in Afghanistan right now.
Yeah, no, that's completely true. That's completely true. Anytime that somebody's in a bad situation and someone is where it's clear that that person is doing something wrong to someone else or to themselves, like that they're close to, people always want justice. So
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. God is associated with fire because it's the element that rules action. You're gonna have to explicate that for me a little bit more, Sadie B. She always has like some real deep shit to say. I'm like,
wasn't she the one that had said when we were talking about Sean, and then she
Yes.
that quote? It's
Yes.
crazy because one of my friends was watching that stream and she quoted that and said that that was super meaningful to her.
no shit. Who was watching it?
BJ and K.
Oh, that's right, because she knew Sean. So shout out to you, Sadie.
Yep.
So you that line helped me a lot that
Yep.
night, and
Yep.
it was a special. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like boom.
Yep.
Okay. Lisa's also right. No nation who's turned on their back has survived. So, but what's crazy is the song is saying darkness in my soul is taking hold. So it's looking at the darkness. It looks like first of all, I was shocked that the guy in Anthrax could sing like that because I just imagined
Yeah.
Anthrax as like a rah chugga-lugga-lugga, and there was a lot of chugga-lug there, which I love. Shout out to Ben Webb. But like sonically, the dude is a legitimate singer, and I'm just blown away. Like all these old bands, like you had to have so much talent just to get into the door, and we're benefiting from the fact that you don't have to be that talented anymore, because you are, but I'm not. But like,
Oh, babe, I am not. I wish you would stop saying those things.
you're a much better singer than I'm a guitarist. Can you give me that?
No, I can't give you that because it takes so much practice to get to where I am. That to me does not constitute someone that's good.
So you think I just came up with that riff like one time and that was it? I knew the
Well,
whole
that's
song.
what it looks like to me.
I don't practice hours a day on the
You
shit
do
that I
practice,
wrote.
but it always looks like you're just playing. Like you're just. It doesn't look like you're like trying to learn it. It looks like you're just having fun.
That is all.
Okay, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The chorus is crazy. Darkness in my soul is taking hold and becoming. Break me from this hold as I unfold. So he feels that there's something that's taking over him as he's doing this to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And you have to say, if you could just pull out of the situation and look at it without emotion, there is something wrong with us as a people that we could say, well, it was an accident that those people got killed. Or that we can just go about our day and are relatively unaffected. Some people completely unaffected by the tragedies that are happening in other places as a result of what, now I'm speaking to us Americans right now, as a result of what we are doing and what our tax dollars are doing. So there is a sort of calloused, or even the way that you see how people are, I was talking to you about this today, the way that people react to the true crime stuff. Like there's an interest that I have in that stuff, and from what I see in myself, I feel like it's always about like I'm looking to see like what could happen so I can try to make sure that doesn't happen to me or people that I care about.
Yeah.
And I think that that's kind of like a motivator, but I do think that, that sort of morbid curiosity and stuff that lots of people have. And I've had morbid curiosity. I'm not judging everybody else and saying I never had that. I'm sure I've had morbid curiosity. I'm just not at that phase in my life right now. So I think that, yeah, that's a problem. And the way that the people, like you said, when they took off their masks and like the one was horrified. Well, you were horrified, but you still took part in it.
Correct.
And
Correct.
And just watching this happen to all these different people and all this torture and just,
And
oh
you
my
did
God.
nothing and you said nothing.
Right.
And you have to, and then the reaction. One guy was saying, oh, this is horrible. The other guy was like,
You know what?
both participated in
You
it.
both participated, but in a sense, there's the person that, okay, so the one guy that looked at it and was horrified.
That was smart. Morbid Angel Curiosity? Because there's a band called Morbid Angel. Go ahead.
So there's the one person that's horrified and is looking at this scene, but still takes part in it and doesn't do anything. And then there's the other one that's like, well, that was gory. And you look at the one that was like, wow, that was gory, and you're like, wow, that's awful. At least that person looked horrified by it. But you have to say, if the one that was like, well, that was gory, if that one has so desensitized himself to the point where he would just say, wow, that was gory, then isn't the one that remains silent that saw it as such a horrible thing that his like mouth was just open at the end. Isn't he the worst one?
Right.
Because he recognized the horror of it and he
Right.
allowed it to keep going. And
Because
he participated.
the other guy has already
The other
pretty
guy
much
was already desensitized.
he's already lost his
Yeah.
humanity in that
Right.
regard. Yeah.
Right. But
Yeah,
we look
holy
at the
shit.
one that said, "Oh, that was gory," and you're like, "Well, he's the really bad one." Well, I don't know. I think the one with the dropping jaw open is actually the worst one.
Yeah, no, that's a very, very, very good line. That's a man, that's so true, bro. You know, that's why we are the way that we are. Like, it's not enough to watch the gore and say, "Oh, ugh, I don't like that." You got to come out and tell people in the room, like, you're fucked up for doing this shit. You have to. But nobody wants to be that guy. You don't want to get Blood Eagle next. You know how many people message me, be like, "Yeah, bro, I'm with you on that abortion thing, man." You're not gonna say it. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to deal with the societal pressure. It's just like, you know, back in the day when you were, you know, in the antebellum South, and you're one of these people that wanted to see black people free, just because there was a lot of white people who just genuinely like, "Yo, this is fucked up. What's going on?" And you had a bunch of people saying, "What's going on here?" And the pastors, like Jonathan Edwards, were saying, "Hey, man, you know, don't rock the boat." And you cannot expect, and everybody knows I'm a lover of my people, but you cannot expect a normal garden variety person in Massachusetts to stand up to Jonathan Edwards and say, "Man, fuck," you know what I'm saying? Like, it is very difficult to do the right thing when your society has normalized criminality. And it's very hard. And a lot of people, and it's very hard to do the right thing because a lot of people, like, look, I'm just not going to participate in it. So they go, okay, like, hey, I'm not participating in it. But that's not enough. It's really interesting.
It's really not.
Muhammad said, if you see evil and your hands are available, use your hands to stop the evil. If your hands are not available, use your mouth to stop the evil. If your mouth is not available, use your mind. Like, always be against it. And shout out to Muhammad. I disagree with a lot of shit you say, but that was right. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You're wrong about the Jesus thing. He was absolutely crucified. He rose from the dead. You're gonna answer him on the day of judgment. Okay, and you killed a lot of people, bro. I love you to death, but you killed a lot of good people. You shouldn't have done that. Stuck for a while. Okay, so like, the song to me is a personal song. I don't think he's going meta with it, but the personal application when you multiply it by 8 billion people becomes meta, because all of us are walking around with some darkness in our soul. And I'm not going to argue about original sin or the shadow. I don't care what you call it. Your dark side, your shadow self, your whatever. You have a part of you that you wish you didn't have a part of you.
Yeah, the gray place that exists in the mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Holy moly. Good. The song is good. And the reason I know the song is good because I still hear the chorus in my head. So shout out to that. Holy moly. No, Middle Earth, I'm not anti-Latin. I don't know what you mean by anti-Latin. Sean says he's giving it a 2. What? No, it's not a 2. What do you give the song?
Why would you
I
give
think
it
I
2?
think he's joking.
Okay.
I mean, he's the one that suggested the
Yeah,
song.
I know. This is a tough one because, like, I really, really, really hated the video. But
Watch
I really
the video,
think
guys.
They did a really good job with it, and I'm gonna have to give this song a 10 because I think it's super, super important, and I think that this is a message for all of us. Like, we can all learn something from this because we all have darkness and we all work out that darkness in different ways. So I'm gonna have to say this is a 10, and it's an important song.
I'm going to give this a solid 9. I agree with you. If I was judging the video, it would be like a 10.5. The video was just so powerful that the reason I'm giving this song, and I enjoyed the song, I'm still listening to it right now, but the reason that I'm giving it a 9 is just because I didn't get I was so taken by the video that I didn't really get to focus in on the song. I know in the middle it got very heavy and all that jazz. Good song. If you are in a regular YouTube land like a square, then you're going to have to check us out at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Underground Show. But if you are live like a good person, then stick around because we got other songs coming up. You know the deal. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone.